Hey guys, welcome to another commentary done by Diggity. Upper right corner we got Dewalt starting as the blue Protoss. Bottom left hand corner we got Bonyth starting as the red Protoss. This is Fighting Spirit Mania, set 2 of 7, game 3. Currently, excuse me, the series is tied up 1 apiece. So anyone's match at this stage. I think it's anyone's match until it starts getting into the... Once you have like 4 or 5 games, then I think these guys start getting worried about dropping the sets here and there. Oh, okay, I'm going to restart this one. Hold on. Ugh. What's with having trouble starting these lately? Coughing and other crap. Boo. Boo hiss. Try this again. Hey guys, welcome to another commentary done by Diggity. Upper right corner we got Dewalt starting as the blue Protoss. Bottom left hand corner we got Bonyth starting as the red Protoss. I'm sure you guys are getting used to hearing that. This is Fighting Spirit Mania, set 2 of 7, game 3. And once again, I feel like, I guess I should stop saying this, but I feel like these games have actually been pretty entertaining all the way across. Every single game feels like something new's happening, and just the level of play of these guys is insane. It just feels like they're very, very close. It's nuts to say that after however many, what are we at? We're probably breaching like 50 games at this stage between these two guys, and it still feels like it could be anyone's series overall, which is nuts. Kind of wonder what their overall... I think obviously in BSL, Bonyth has gotten the better of Dewalt up until this last season, but I'm wondering as far as overall what their win rate is against each other in the recent era. Regardless, I'm also wondering what kind of effect playing against one another with these best of 7s each week, what effect that's had on the quality of their PvP play. Because I know one important thing is getting good practice partners. By the way, I think we're going to see a 2-gate here from Dewalt and probably a 1-gate from Bonyth. I will be curious to see... so Bonyth, we'll see if he goes for cross-map scout as well. Bonyth, many times when he's doing this, when he does the double gate, he actually has really, really good recoveries out of it, I think, because he goes for that cross-map scout. And if he sees cross-map, he goes for a little bit of an earlier gas. Dewalt going bottom corner first, seeing actually the direction of this probe from Bonyth. Does he get the... oh, just outside the range to be able to tell? Gives it a bit of a slap in the face before making his way back across. I still think he's going to go bottom left, because usually you want to do that. You always are concerned about the worst possible scenario. It looks like it is going to be Cybernetic Score before Zealot, by the way. And we'll see if there's a Zealot produced at all. No double gate, though. Wow. Okay, so what's going on with this? Dewalt, I guess, just leaving the option open for 2-gate and has instead gone into a simulator. But this is a very unusual... is he trying to psych Bonyth out? Is that what's going on here with the gateway positioning? So first Zealot queued up. Interesting position for the second pylon alongside the simulator right there. Bit of damage maybe to try to trap that probe and get a spot of additional damage. The Zealot just... this is interesting. And he's queuing up a second Zealot. So he's going an initial Zealot, mostly just to get... I have yet to see this. Just to get a Zealot in his opponent's base for a few seconds to maybe get a probe kill or two, because he recognizes that this Zealot is going to be running around trying to deal with this probe, leaving the ramp unprotected. But still, with the timing of this, I'll be curious how this plays out. Is he trying to... is he, okay, never mind. I was wondering if he was gonna... he's just hiding the Zealot now at that natural expansion. This is crazy. Okay, look at this. I have never seen this. I think he's trying to attempt this Dragoon out and check whether the Dragoon's there. But Dewalt with the timing, are you kidding me? So just timed it perfectly in the dark to now slip this Zealot underneath. This Zealot was chasing that probe, was just hardline focused on it. And now there's an interruption of gas. A couple of probes taking some damage that actually, so it'll be a bit of delay, but at least that saves some probe kills. The Zealot cleaned up, but still a follow-up scout. Some delay of gas and some shenanigans there from Dewalt is going to end up 2 workers. We're going 1-gate robo, by the way. And he was able to see the range. Now he's tacking on 2-gate. So it looks like, is this going to be 2-gate expand from Dewalt as far as the follow-up? He's up 2 workers at the end of all this. Interesting play. The Dragoon's now fanning out. I'm sure Bonyth is like, okay, did he hide something else out on the map? Was that a proxy? What the hell happened with that? And so now he's just fanning Dragoons everywhere to make absolutely certain, which I totally understand. I will say, if this was not Bonyth, if this was a different Protoss player, I could have seen that going a lot better for Dewalt. So hats off to Bonyth for that defense, honestly. Pylon, by the way, at that southern corner. But in the meantime, a lot of units queued up off the 2-gate. This should be an advantage build order to Bonyth, presuming that he just goes, or even if he goes into straight Nexus as far as a follow-up, because I still think there's not, yeah, it's going to be 2-gate robo here from Dewalt. Going to be a lot later as far as the tech and the Reaver, as long as the Reaver's out in sufficient timing. For the timing from Dewalt when he pushes out, that will be plenty to go ahead and defend. It doesn't need to get down the ramp in a hurry. And he does maybe want to hurry up and make sure that he gets that robotic support bay down sooner rather than later. It looks like, well, they're going to attack that pylon to avoid the supply block. Well, we'll see this works out, actually. This could actually work out in Dewalt's favor now that I'm looking at it. My thought was, there was, maybe I'm just off on this. I thought the timing was a little bit different, but maybe it shifts. I could just be off on this. But anyway, 2-gate later robo. I don't think this is a winning scenario unless there's some really good micro from Dewalt because of the closer reinforcement point. A second observer queued up though. And actually this might work out for Dewalt after all, depending on micro. So there's the first hit. The Zealot able to get on top of the Dragoon. Some good focus fire right there. This observer out. And the Zealot still getting some good damage at close position. And Bonyth now up on the high ground. And this Reaver coming out a lot later than it would have otherwise. Huh. Go figure. Is that going to be a dead Nexus is the next question. Dragoon's trying to tempt these units forward and push them back. But part of it was it was 2 observers and no Reaver in the space of this. I'm not sure why Bonyth felt like it was so important to get that second observer out. Maybe he was just very concerned about DT after that initial Zealot push by. But as a result, yeah, this Reaver, because this Reaver is coming out a lot later, and the Dragoons are continuing to flood forward and continuing to hold this ramp. Now Probe's pulling for Bonyth to try to save this Nexus, which is delayed mining time. That might be necessary to defend the Reaver as well. These 4 Dragoons now, can spread very well against the Reaver on top of everything else. Natural expansion's up and running for Dewalt in the meantime. And Probe's continually now pulling off to try to defend themselves. So what I'm fairly certain, I am not a PvP expert by any stretch of the imagination, but from commentaries past, I'm fairly certain that at cross positions, you can get away with a Nexus in between there as long as you get that Reaver out in sufficient time. But because of the second observer, now all of a sudden Dewalt just picking this apart. Just going to be able to take out that second Nexus. And still going to work. The Probe's trying to do what they can, but Dewalt's way economically ahead now. I'm wondering if I'm wondering what triggered Bonyth actually to delay the support bay and also to go for 2 observers before Reaver. He was very concerned about a potential Dark Templar play for some reason. And now Dewalt's ahead in effectively every... I'm wondering if that was just an off build order scenario and a flub. But Dewalt catching him off guard. And in the meantime, huge worker lead there for Dewalt. Observer going to get picked off as well on this side. So what small advantage there might have been. At least he saw, I guess, the additional gateways. But man, yeah, okay, so pulling back, commentator notes. Usually 1-gate robo, as long as you get the Reaver out, you can delay that second gate because you get that Reaver, you get the high ground on the ramp, even if you drop your Nexus in the space of this, because of cross positions and because of how long it takes for that second gate to give you additional Dragoons, the Reaver usually covers it, and as long as you protect it in the splash damage, it can crawl. You either utilize the ramp or crawl down the ramp with some Dragoon support to fight that off. But if you go that second observer, that's a good... I mean, you saw the delay in comparison. I want to find another game where that's, I guess maybe we'll see it in the series, but I'm almost certain that's the case. I'm sure the Protoss players will let me know in chat in YouTube land if that's in fact not the case, but cross position might mix it up at the same time. But wow. So, oh, Dewalt actually playing a little bit too far forward with his Reaver, loses the shuttle, strands the Reaver, gets some damage done. But still, I don't know that's going to be sufficient. 2 Reavers here in the back end for Bonyth, and even though he's light on Dragoons, these 2 Reavers can get a lot of damage done. And he does have a shuttle to potentially protect, so might be a little bit of a gift here. The Dragoons continuing to run forward to try to deal with the rest of this. 1 Reaver down, but not going to be enough to get on. Losing that Reaver actually hurts, but and still some additional delayed mining time. But Dewalt donating honestly a few troops there. Not that it matters at this stage because Dewalt is so far ahead economically. And the other problem for Bonyth right now is he needs to keep producing these troops, so he doesn't really have a window to, and it looks like the Observer going to walk forward and see the additional gateways. He doesn't really have a window to sneak tech. He needs to get these additional gateways down to continue just to keep production from getting overwhelmed from Dewalt's raw production. So it's not like he can sneak a Citadel of Adun or something like that in the meantime. So Dewalt ahead, yeah, just completely across the board here. And dropping 2 additional gateways upon seeing those 2 additional gateways to keep that production advantage. He's also getting that Scarab upgrade damage as soon as he gets another Reaver out in the field. Could be trouble. Osso's blocked off that 9 o'clock location, but you can just see this is, I think that's the sum total. This is the sum total of Bonyth's attack force right now and his army. Let's include the Observer to be gracious here and compare that just to the forward staging army. This is ignoring the 2 Reavers in the shuttle. Yeah, walking out, gonna try to take this down. That actually might open a counterattack at the natural expansion. Also a bit of a supply block for Bonyth right this second. Yeah, nothing going right. Gonna lose the Observer on the forward position. This looks like potentially a scrub game for him. But I do want to rewind this. 2 Reavers gonna take some shots. Gonna take that pylon down to the front. These troops are now stranded, honestly. And Bonyth in the red in the space of that. And Dewalt knows those units are over here. So Reaver upgrade fortunately is not finished yet, but I mean, small mercies, it's not going to make that much of a difference in the space of this. So that army's gone. This army getting, yeah, there's GG. Okay, we're going to bring up the replay bar. I'm just very curious. I'm just wondering what, was it the closer Nexus? Was it the, so early Zealot comes in, that was cute. So we get 1 gate robo. But my impression, this is just commentator sense that comes into the midst of this. This is kind of, usually you get the observatory down to follow. Like right here. And you immediately drop the robotic support bay afterwards. But it looks like he just wanted to go observer into Nexus, which is fine actually. Even with this, he can come back as long as he skips and just redrops the support bay in the space of this. But instead, it looks like he queued up a Dragoon and an Observer and still didn't go for support bay and dropped the pylon to the north. And because of that, now he's delayed. So now, this is all that time that's... Now he drops the support bay a lot later than what would be typical in this overall build order, which is what opens this up. Because otherwise, because keep in mind, this would be like finished now. The Reaver, after this first Observer, would effectively be queued up. So the Reaver would be building while all this is happening. The secondary problem here is okay, look, because he's got this second Observer queued up, even with this robotic support bay finished, unless he's going to cancel this Observer, he still has to wait. See, he's got that Reaver queue and he's still losing some seconds here. So here, like normally in this time frame, the Reaver would be, I think, right about here. This is just commentator sense. I'm not 100% positive on this, but I think it'd be right about there. So it's like, okay, you've got this little bit of an army, 2 Dragoons trying to hold the high ground. Your Nexus comes up, and then the Reaver's got a slow walk at this timing to come back down and fight that off, at which point it would be advantage Bonyth because his Nexus is finished, and yeah, it's taken a few hits, but you can go from there. But because he just waited so late on that support bay and queued up that second Observer in front of it, this Reaver This is a game of seconds. You know how they say football's a game of inches? This is a game of seconds. And now that Reaver is coming out so much later. And a Reaver does make up 2 or 3 Dragoons difference as far as defense at your natural expansion. And then it's just snowballs from here. Huh. All right. Anyway, we will move on. I just wanted to confirm that in my brain as far as talking it out. We'll move on to the next match. Hope you guys enjoyed it regardless. Thanks for listening.